What's up, Canada? This is Etienne from Signatures, and I'm just checking in on you. How are you? Do you know what day it is today? It is Thursday, May 14th. Happy to be back here live, beaming in through your phones. You could be anywhere in the world, and you're here with me. I appreciate that. This is episode 14 of Just Checking In. Not a milestone by any stretch, but I am feeling a little existential about it. We're looking for your feedback as we plan more episodes. What do you like most about the show? Do you like the show? What do you want to see more of? Who do you want to hear from? Should I continue wearing yellow? Please don't be shy. Let us know in the comments or send us a DM. We want to make this the best show possible. Want to give a great big thanks to Nathan from West of the Fifth for joining us on the program last week. I love that he gave us a tour of their facility, and the cherry on top was definitely the tailgate peach mojito that he made for us, live, one-handed. Amazing stuff. If you tap the link in our bio, you can watch his episode and all previous episodes of Just Checking In. And hello to all these lovely people joining us. A lot of familiar faces. Let's send out some waves. Yes, it is May long weekend coming up, people, for those that are unaware. Do you call it May long? Do you call it May 2-4? Or are you strictly keeping it to the Commonwealth and calling it Victoria Day weekend? Let me know. Now, our guest today is a very special lady who embodies the warm-heartedness of her East Coast roots and the adventurous nature of the West Coast that she calls home. She is a supremely talented jeweler who always gets a good chuckle out of me. I'm delighted to be checking in on my good pal, Kat Cadegan. Let's bring her in now. Hey.
Hi.
Oh, so nice to see your face.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Thanks. I'm going to take off these glasses because I've noticed a smudge in them that's really bothering me. You would have told me that anyway, right?
I would have told you. I would point it out, yeah.
Cool. So we're coming in live from Revi. How's the weather over there?
Today's kind of cloudy, a little overcast, light drizzle.
Not bad. How many plants are you up to in your studio?
Stephanie? 1 million. Stephanie says 1 million. I'd say maybe
1 million.
I'd say 30 to 40. I don't know, maybe 30.
Yeah. That's a lot of maintenance, but everything looks green and healthy, so good on you. So, Kat, just checking in on you. How are you these days?
We're doing pretty well. It's definitely strange times. But we're plugging along, and I've got juniper now, so I've got
that's
I've got a bit of a different focus, I think, than my usual spring anyway. So I'm good. Life's good.
That's awesome. So she's what, 8-9 months now?
She was 8 months on the 11th.
That's amazing. Yeah. How's motherhood been in general?
It's great. She's the best baby. I mean, she's like the happiest, most joyful little creature. It's amazing. Yeah, she's great.
I love it. Very cool. And what about your sweet dogs, Senor and Marty? How are they?
Senor's amazing. Marty is Marty. I mean, Marty's ridiculous, but he's still trucking along. Had a bit of a scare in the spring with him, but I think he's at his cruising altitude for Marty.
That's good.
They're all in diapers at night, so I'm just changing diapers around the clock. It's great.
Constantly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Kat, do you remember the first time we met? I was thinking about this the other night when I was putting the questions together.
Do you want me to say this on the air?
Oh, God. Yes?
Because, what really stands out is when I asked you to go get coffee for me and Red Deer.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not sure that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe not that one. Maybe not that story.
because you were always, saving all the vendors when we needed coffee. So that's what I remember was you getting me coffee when I desperately needed it. Yeah.
Those days are behind me, vendors, so don't get any ideas.
These were the early days. These were the early days. Etienne does not do coffee runs anymore.
For obvious reasons. Okay, I remember, I think it was at Butterdome, and Phil was in your booth with you, and I was talking to a neighbor about how I was going to be on TV, and you begged me to put your necklace on.
Probably.
And it was the hummingbird skull necklace.
Yep.
And I remember, I didn't even know you, but you were pushing this necklace on me so hard, and you said to me, "It's elegant yet macabre." And in my head, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just posted this exact necklace on the Signatures Instagram, and I used those exact words to describe the necklace. Why is she stealing my words?
Was I stealing, or was it just coincidence? Probably coincidence.
Who knows? I'm just joshing you. But anyway, that interview was a bomb. I'm glad that it doesn't exist on the internet, because I was one of my first TV interviews, and I was super nervous.
Right, because this is going to exist on the internet, so I need to watch mine. Okay.
Yeah, totally. I was reading your website, and first of all, very cool career that has spanned continents, which is awesome. I wanted to talk a bit about your time in India. Maybe explain how long you spent there and why you studied there, what you saw, what you love about it, how special that relationship is.
Ooh, India. I mean, India is a love-hate. I think for a lot of people, it's a love-hate relationship. I love India. I love going to India. I love leaving India. I went there. I was taking a break from university. So I went to university for kinesiology and then biology and environmental studies. And I was taking a break, and I had always collected stones, and I was always putting together necklaces and beading, and I was always crafty, And I don't really know why, but I decided that I was going to go to India, and I was going to buy stones, and I was going to study silversmithing, and this was my idea. So I finished tree planting, and I bought a plane ticket to India, and I called my parents, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to India, and I'm going to buy stones, and I'm going to study silversmithing. I'm taking a break from university. And my mother was like, no, you're not. And I was like, oh, no, I am. And she was like, when are you going? I'm like, next week. She was like, what? And so I just very naively flew into Delhi at midnight alone, having never really traveled.
Goodness gracious.
And luckily there was a woman on the plane, who I believe she was a Hare Krishna, and she just was like, have you been to India before? And I was like, no. And she was like, okay, where are you staying? And I was like, oh, I have this hotel. I looked it up online. I mean, this is 20 years ago. And I was like, I'm just gonna grab a cab. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take you there. And I remember getting there, and I was like, this can't be right. There was a cow blocking the doorway, and it was anyway. And I had to go up 3 flights of stairs with no lighting, there was no electricity, and walking in the complete total pitch black. And I got to this room that was a jail cell, and I barricaded the door, locked myself in, and it was just totally wild. And then in the morning, I think it really did take me 2 days to cross the street to go get water and get a few things, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so wild. But fast forward a little bit. I completely fell in love with India. I eventually got the courage to leave the what do you call it? Not a dorm, but guest house. And just started traveling and spent most of my time on that trip in Rajasthan. And then I ended up in Pushkar, which is where I stumbled upon the Ravi School for Jewelry. And 2 years ago when I went back, I went looking for Ravi's school, and he wasn't there anymore. But I found his brother, who had a jewelry store, and his sister is also running the jewelry school now. So that's I was awesome. Able to go back. Yeah. And so I spent 6 months total in Asia on that trip, and I just bought stones and started making jewelry. And at night I would lay out all of my stones, and I would just do designs and dream up what I was gonna, make with each piece, and just sort of like fumble and bumble along. And then I left in September, and I got back to Canada in April, totally broke, and went tree planting again, but was like pretty clear that this is what I was going to do. And at that point, I had a friend whose sister had studied with a guy in Mexico, in San Miguel.
And I wanted to ask about him too, because I haven't heard many stories about this guy.
Oh, Billy! Wow, yeah, Billy is Billy's a renegade. I mean, he's amazing. He's an amazing teacher. He's extremely vulgar and lawless and wild.
So two peas in a pod.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Billy's amazing. I mean, my time in San Miguel was incredible. So I tree planted for that year, and then I took off and went to San Miguel and just started studying. It's called Sterling Quest. And so I did that for 2 years. I would tree plant for the summer and then leave in September and stayed in Mexico till April, and then went back and tree planted, and then went back to Mexico and then studied till April. And then Billy, Sterling Quest School of Jewelry Design and Creation. He has a Facebook page. He writes everything in cap locks. I don't know why. It's like he's always yelling, which is true to his real life self. He's always yelling.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, he's a real cowboy. But I mean, if somebody wants to get into metalsmithing and you don't fit in the confines of like a Western program, you can definitely go and study with Billy for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But be prepared to be yelled at and for things to be thrown, and terrible, terrible rancid coffee that you will eventually grow to love, adding the carnation powdered creamer. Yeah.
Is he Mexican?
No, he's Canadian. But he moved to San Miguel 40 years ago. He and his wife Anna moved there 40 years ago, and Anna was a Spanish teacher or Spanish English teacher. So when I lived there, she was my Spanish teacher, and they're both Canadian. Anna unfortunately passed away maybe 5 years ago now. But Billy's still there doing his thing, and you can go find him.
Do you have any of like his influences in your work, or was he the type of person to just let you fly with whatever ideas you had?
You 100% have to fly with ideas you have. Absolutely. He's pretty hell-bent on you do your own thing. There's no real structure. The classes are limited to class sizes of 6, but all 6 people are at different stages. Like, I just got here today. This individual has been here for 2 weeks. This person is their 3rd time coming, and they, and so you're all at different staggered levels, and he does one-on-one projects.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, he's very focused on individual creativity and doing your own thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because I was looking at your stories, I think yesterday, where you're showing off your amazing collection of stones.
Oh, yes.
Why do you love those stones so much? And like, what? Because most of your work is rooted in like the colors there, and when people think of jewelry, maybe they think of like diamonds, and so why don't you work with more traditional stones like that? What?
So in the beginning, I mean, if you went back into like the bowels of my like jewelry page, like literally 10 years, you'd see that in the beginning, like everything I did, I only did stonework basically. And like a lot of turquoise, because those stones that I got in India. And then I sort of took a departure as I moved into, doing it as a full-time living and running like a production line of jewelry where stone setting doesn't necessarily fit so well into production work. So I did this sort of departure into, casting-based jewelry. And then a few years ago, Phil and I went back to India on another stone buying trip, and now we've been diving back into where I started, back into the stone sort of realm. I mean, I love bright colors, interesting stones. I'm always so drawn to turquoise because it's got so much variability and can just tell such a different story with each piece. So I love that with turquoise, you're never going to get the same thing twice. I've always loved stones. I can't, I mean, I love cupcakes, rescue dogs, stones. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of stones. I mean, I showed some of my stories yesterday, but then like Juniper was like, I had to, go be mom. So that was just like a snippet.
Very cool.
a bit.
I remember last summer you showed me some weird skulls, and I think you turned a dead bee into a necklace, which was really cool.
Oh, I'm wearing it.
You're wearing it. Amazing.
I am wearing it.
So cool.
This was not.
So what other weird stuff do you have down the pipe?
Oh, actually, I have had this for a while, and I just haven't really. Maybe now during COVID, I'll be able to do it. This is for a woman named Annabelle in Edmonton, and she's a veterinarian, and it's a little tiny mouse.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't it? Look at those little teeth. And I actually just said to Stephanie because somebody gave me a baby eagle that had I'm not sure how it had passed away, but I buried it and left it for about 1.5 years now, and I need to go check on that and see what's happening with it. What other weird things do I have? Oh, I have these this isn't a dead creature, but these are the little pods off of eucalyptus.
Ooh. Neat.
And I've made rings with these already, but I want to revisit it because I have the rings. Some people own the rings, but I wanted to revisit that. I've got, I don't know, there's so many things that I've got going on. Pods, shells, but we've been really stone focused lately. That's kind of been, I'm back into like the candy bowl of gemstones.
Sounds fun. So how long has Stephanie been with you, and what's it been like having a studio mate?
Stephanie has been here come on over. She's hot. Stephanie doesn't really like the camera.
Oh, good.
Stephanie has been here for
hello.
That's it? Yeah. So she's shy. Stephanie's we've been together, it was a year, it'll be 2 years in September. Yeah. We had like a really brief little COVID hiatus. But now we're back in action, which is great. And Stephanie is from Australia.
Cool. And
she thought that she might be leaving in September, but I'm like not gonna let that happen. So Phil and I are getting divorced. Stephanie and I are getting married.
I didn't think Australians were allowed to leave Revelstoke once they got there.
I know, she just didn't realize that. I was like, yeah, no, there's no leaving. You can't ever leave. Stephanie is my right hand. Sometimes my right hand and my left hand
cool.
At the same time. She is just amazing. And you guys, because she doesn't come to the shows, so you've not met her, but you should.
I plan on getting back down there, hopefully sooner rather than later. But that's cool. So the dynamic is good because a lot of jewelers work solo.
I mean, I think we still largely do work solo. But so lonely. It's so lonely. Even when we're solo, we FaceTime quite a bit, which is great because I'm at home with Juniper, and so like Steph will be in the studio and I'm working from home and we're balancing. Today's the day where Phil's home, so now we can both be here. And she's, socially distanced back in her corner, and I'm here in my corner. It's good.
Very responsible. Now, are you two more into music while you work, or podcasts, or what?
Music.
Oh, nice.
We couldn't do podcasts because then we'd never be at the same place because we overlap more than we work in tandem.
I see.
Yeah.
Could you talk about the...
Oh, I do. I listen to the same album. I'll listen to the same album for I got a notice that I'm in the top 1% of Lumineers fans.
Oh, no.
Top 1%.
The Lumineers?
Yeah.
All right, no comment.
I drove to Salmon Arm. I had to go pick up a prescription for Juniper, and I drove to Salmon Arm, which is an hour and a half.
Yes.
Got the medicine, drove back to Revelstoke, and I listened to the same Joel Plaskett song probably 50 times, almost 100%. But then I had a very brief Lady Gaga Adele interlude.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
You got to dance once in a while.
I sing.
Oh, gosh.
Terrible.
Can you talk about the studio space that you're in now? I remember getting a tour of it last summer, and it was really cool.
So we are in the Art Center in Revelstoke, which is the old jail.
Perfect.
My studio is the what do you call the police chief? You know, like the main office.
Yeah, captain.
And so I've got all these like really amazing windows. I don't know if you can. That's why I have so many plants, because I've just got like windows, a full wall.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Some of the studios here still have the jail cell doors and the little tiny sinks. So it's great. So I mean, I'm in here. There's a community art pottery studio, which is closed right now. Monashi Pottery, who does some of the signature shows, her studio is here. We have a stained glass worker. Sorry, I was trying to think of how do you say that properly. Some photographers. There's a couple other jewelers in the building. So it's great. And then there's a community garden just off the side. So you can go there and have your lunch, and then the train runs right through the back, so it's really loud and scary sometimes. Yeah.
How's your garden looking these days?
Great. So good. I'm so excited.
Anything exciting that you're planting this year?
Shishito peppers.
Whoa. What are those?
I'm really excited about the shishito peppers. They're a mild, almost looks like a jalapeno, but wrinkly. Like a 90-year-old jalapeno.
Yeah.
And they just have like a mild spice to them. And if you just fry them in a hot pan, little salt and pepper, and they're so good. I have 6 shishito pepper plants in.
That's cool.
I don't really know how productive they are, so I might have like just the mega load. I'm not sure.
Nice. You just reminded me of something. Do you want to share with the people why you don't like runny eggs?
Well, I mean, like, why don't I like them? Because it's disgusting. Like, no, I can't. Yeah, I cannot deal with a runny yolk. It's not okay.
That's too bad.
Yeah, no.
But you guys are you're usually the cook of the house, right? If I remember correctly, Phil told me not that big of a cook.
He builds things.
He builds things, of course. So, what have you been cooking lately during the quarantine?
I'm not gonna lie. With Phil working out of town most days, and me being mom to Juniper and 2 geriatric dogs, and staying on top of work, I'm kind of just survival eating.
Yeah.
So I haven't had the luxury of like cooking these big luxurious meals. I've had friends dropping off things for me.
Oh, that's lovely.
I eat a lot of salads, soups, because they can, last a long time. But yeah, that's the one thing. I mean, with Phil gone and me being alone with Juniper, and then also trying to work, I'm only sleeping like sort of 5 hours a day, and there's no cooking. There's just like, I need to eat. So what can I enjoy? I've been doing a lot of smoothies with like protein powder, and then I put the broccoli, the kale, everything in the smoothie, and then just drink it, and then like, there we go.
Yeah, I'd sort of do the same, just to get my vegetable intake up there.
Yeah. So.
Do you remember your first big signature show? Was it around the same time that I started? I can't remember.
I think it was the year that I'm 1 year ahead of you. Because Phil and I, the first year, well, we were everywhere. So we did Lethbridge, Red Deer, Calgary, Butterdome. I think that's it, but it felt like we were everywhere. And when we did Lethbridge, there was like a hockey tournament and a can skate competition. And when I had initially checked for hotels, there were like so many. And so then like a month before, I was like, oh, I should book my hotel. And there was literally nothing. And there's nothing close to Lethbridge, like in terms of I'll just stay to like the closest town. And I got the only room left at like the brand new Marriott. And it was like $350 a night. And I was like, what? This is absurd. And so we called it, I don't know if I can say that word on the air. Anyway, we called it our sexy LA getaway. Because I was like, we're spending $350 a night on a hotel room. We might as well pretend it's this like really glorious thing. So we're going to LA for the weekend.
Yeah, Lethbridge, Alberta, LA.
Yeah. So, yeah. But Red Deer is probably the first one that I remember as being like the really big show for me, and then of course Butterdome. So
nice. And here we are, 5-6 years later. Do you have any weird show stories that stand out? Can we? No.
No, I don't know.
What about the pickle day?
you. Yeah, if you're watching this, guy in Ottawa that thought it was appropriate to repeatedly eat pickled eggs behind my booth so that it consistently smelt like sour gas, that was not okay, actually. He was a woodworker from Quebec, and he ate unlimited pickled eggs behind my booth and was rolling joints. And I was like, okay, you know what? My booth just smells like skunks and pickled eggs, and I've got to draw the line. This is disgusting. People thought it was me.
Smells matter, people. Take note.
Smells, fabric, curtains, don't stop smelling.
Oh, gosh.
I actually was taking pictures of him eating the pickled eggs behind the booth. And I was texting them, I think to you and to Brandon Brown. I was like, what's with this pickled egg guy? Not an appropriate show food.
Mm-mm. Have you heard from Brandon lately? Is he alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we text pictures and videos of our kids to each other pretty regularly. Awesome. Brandon and Vanny is his wife, we have a group chat. So I actually just sent them a really funny video of my niece with lipstick all over her face. And my sister-in-law saying, Ainsley, did you put lipstick on? No. Are you sure? I didn't put it on. I went outside. I had it on. I was riding my bike. I didn't put it on. I tried to wipe it off. It's just really funny. Anyway, yeah, we chat all the time.
That's awesome. You want to play a word association game? I'm going to drop some names and you tell me the first word that comes to mind.
Oh, I don't want to say anything inappropriate. Okay.
Anything goes.
Okay. Oh, God.
All right. Let's start with Brandon Brown.
Tacos.
Okay. Janet Stein.
Class.
Yeah. Jess Freeman.
Curly hair.
Megan Jones.
Commitment.
Nice. Laura Sharp.
Oh, love.
Love. Stephanie Wood.
Everything. She's everything.
Adam Cadegan.
Good answer. Oh, catch me on a good day. No, kidding. My little brother. I love him.
And Philip Fleming.
Everything. He's my everything.
Absolutely. Big shout outs to Phil. So, Kat, these days, I know we were chatting last week about how the online orders are still coming in. How can the people support Kat Cadegan Jewelry these days?
I feel like we've been extremely fortunate. We have a lot of custom work coming in right now, which is incredible. And I feel just so blessed that we are able to, our days are full, our weeks are booked. Right now anyway, knock on wood. But I have my website, so you can go to katcadegan.com. I have Instagram, Facebook. You can send me an email. We can set up a phone chat if it would be easier to do sort of like a FaceTime sort of shopping experience. But yeah, sort of all the ways.
And if you're in Revelstoke, maybe drop off some hot meals for the new mom.
That's appreciated. Yeah. I don't think I get to call myself a new mom anymore. She's 8 months old. It's like I should.
I thought it was the year mark was the cutoff, but what do
Okay, please bring me food and cupcakes.
All right on. What's the thing you're gonna miss the most about like all these show cancellations this summer? Seeing
my people.
Yeah.
But both my maker family, and my customers that I have really strong, bonds with. Mm-hmm. Like people not getting to see Juniper is like so sad for me because she's just at such a beautiful age and she's so lovely, and I want everybody to see how wonderful this little creature is.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have such a strong sort of fabric of our community of makers and shakers, and our customers are loyal and they're like family. So I'm definitely very sad not to get to see that part of my life.
For sure. Big shout out to the makers and shakers, and yeah, I feel for you guys, especially because like I love hearing the stories about how loyal your clientele is, mm-hmm. and having that face to face taken away from you guys this year is it's just unfair. So
yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that all things considered, you're doing pretty good.
We are. Yeah. Great. Can you see Steph hiding in the background? Where are you?
I hear a lot of hammering, which is good. Staying busy. So, Kat, we like to close out the show by asking in life, in art, and in your heart of hearts, what is your signature?
Rescue dogs, cupcakes, and jewelry.
Beautiful. Well said.
In that order.
I love it. I love it, and I loved to have this face-to-face with you. So great. Thank you for taking the time today.
Okay. Love to everybody.
Love to everyone. If I'm in your town, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. We have a room this time.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.